Hello, welcome to the channel, y'all. Welcome to another Yoga for Dancers YouTube class. I'm Roxie, super happy to practice with you today. Before we get into it, I want to give you guys a little bit of anatomy and a little bit of why we're doing what we are about to do, because today's class is all about helping you get your splits. But we're not going to go about getting your splits in the kind of typical old-fashioned way of holding static, passive stretches. We're not here to just sit in your over splits, okay? We're actually going to be working a lot more with mobility and active, dynamic flexibility work. So we're really trying to build strength and stability as we are deepening our range. So a little misconception that I want to break here for you guys is that flexibility is just about lengthening your muscles, and if then you feel tight, if you feel limited in your range, it's because your muscle fibers are just tight and they are shortened and there's just this restrictive, hard kind of energy about them that they just don't want to budge. That's not really how the muscles work. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of the anatomy, but basically, our flexibility is truly created much more in our mind. Our muscle fibers already have a predetermined length. You already have the flexibility. Your highest potential flexibility is already built into your body. It's a matter of whether or not your brain feels safe enough to allow you to access it. It does not matter how hard you push, and try to force yourself into deeper flexibility. If your brain says no, it means no. And the reason why your brain might be limiting your flexibility is it's doing it in a protective measure. Now, if our brain does not sense that we have the strength, that we have the control over our muscles to go deeper and not risk like going too far and tearing a muscle, if it doesn't feel like you can control that, like you can keep yourself safe and not go too far, it's not going to let you do it. So essentially what needs to happen, why we need to build strength and stability as we get into our range that we already have access to, is we need to be really activating the muscles along the way and building strength so that the brain senses, okay, they have control, they have strength here. We can allow the actin to go over the next layer of myosin and add a little bit of expansion there to your muscles. Now, that's why we want to train in a very active way, where we're not just passive, kind of flopping through, sinking into our joints, sinking into a stretch, because that's not going to tell the brain that, oh, we've got control, we are protected, we can go a little deeper because we also have the strength to make sure that we're not going to go too far and be super unstable, because the brain senses that as like, oh, risky, we don't want to go there. So we're going to be working with really building strength in our range. Can you stay active? Can you stay in control as you move through your range? And also to train not just like locking into the joints and hanging out, also trying to get the stretch more in the muscles. And what this is going to do, instead of just hanging out here and waiting for the grass to grow, is we're going to show and train the brain like, hey, we have control, we can drop down and we can lift ourselves back up. There is control and stability here. And through that, through training mobility and balancing your strength and flexibility, not only is your flexibility going to be more functional for you while you're dancing. You're not just going to be the dancer that's like, oh, I can stretch, but I can't hold it, right? We want functional, strong, usable flexibility. Your brain is actually going to let you accelerate your progress a lot faster. So we really need to hack into the brain and the nervous system and create alignment and stability and strength and control throughout the body to create an overall sense of safety and of trust within the brain and the nervous system, that then you can actually access the flexibility that is already built into your muscle fibers. It's just waiting for you, baby. It's in there, ready for you to access it through building your stability, okay? So that's what we're focusing on a lot today, really working the muscles. Might get pretty sweaty, might be a little sore later. Yeah, it's gonna be great. This is my favorite way to stretch, especially for dancers. You don't usually have a lot of time, so you might as well get your flexibility and strength training all in one, right? Work smarter, not harder, honey. So what you're gonna need today is a resistance band. I like fabric ones because they stay up, they don't kind of get all wrapped up and twisted. Just a light one. If you have 2 blocks, please grab 2 blocks. These are gonna be super helpful. And then I'm actually not going to be using a mat today because we're going to be kind of moving around, sliding around. We need the floor. So just grab like a small blanket or folded up towel or something if you want a little something under your knees, because we will be on our knees a little bit. So just a tiny bit of cushioning that you can just kind of move to the side when you're not using it. Then if you have a bolster or a pillow or something, grab that as well. We will actually be doing a little bit of oversplits, optional oversplits training at the end, but adding in some active kind of isometric holds with it to make it more active. We're not just hanging out. And then I also have socks on, so you're gonna need like a slidey hardwood floor, tile, whatever, something smooth, so you can either put socks on or grab like a towel that you can put under your foot, so we will be doing some sliding mobility action. With all that said, let's get into it, guys, and have some fun and explore new movement. Please be patient and loving towards your body and listen to your body. Again, we need to let the body tell us how far we can go and not just ego and push ourselves into anything, okay? So, grab your band. Let's get warmed up. So we're gonna come down and start with a squat here. Don't let your knees fall in, staying centered through your ankles, not rolling in on your arch. Activate the booty, really pull that band apart. Hands to the chest, roll the shoulders back, long spine, and let's walk. So big step out, little step in. Go to the side and back. Really drop it low. We want to activate the booty here. So if all you're feeling here is your quads and your calves activate, see if you can send your weight a little bit more back towards the heels and really feel your booty, that it's working. Working with your knee tracking too, again, making sure they're not falling in, really tracking them forward. And activate, keep those shoulders loose. Tension is in the booty and the core, not the shoulders. Let's do 2 more. Which direction? Nice, standing up, doing a little lunge. So we're going to drop it back into a lunge and then come up. Use the core, get that knee up. Make sure you're not tucking and collapsing to do this, okay? Tracking that knee, using the core. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bringing my hands to my pelvis to make sure that I don't start tucking. To keep that nice neutral pelvis. Squeeze the booty. For 5. Inhale. 4. 3. 4 in. Switching sides. Beautiful. Draw that band down. Just getting nice and warm in your drop. Exhale, lift. As you're coming up, see if you can, through the standing leg, not lock back into your knee, but instead press into the floor to lift up. I'm going to be cueing a lot of things today so that we are not compensating any lack of flexibility through locking into the knee joint. Let's do 3. Squeeze the booty. 2. 1. Nice. Take that band off. You can do a little shake of the fascia here. Feet parallel, you're shifting your weight back and forth, letting that booty jiggle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Shake the head out. Come into a nice parallel forward fold here, feet together. Shifting your weight into your toes, we're gonna do a little flossing of the sciatic nerve to make sure that's not getting stuck anywhere. So what we're gonna do here is come up onto your toes. You're going to round through the spine. Really tuck that chin to your chest and try to tuck through the pelvis. Really round. Now you're gonna inhale, come back down, lift your toes off, so flexing the legs, and reverse with the spine. So really arch the pelvis, lift through the chest, flat back. Exhale, round on the toes. Inhale, lift the toes and flex. Now you really want to think about what the pelvis is doing here. Really arch. When you are flexing, see if you can imagine spreading the sits bones apart. Inhale, round. Do 3. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. 2. 1. Beautiful, y'all. All right, it's taking it to a downward facing dog. Walking it out real quick. We're gonna inhale, lift that right leg up to the sky. Take a big stretch here. Don't lock through that left leg. Stay centered on the ankle. Make sure you're not rolling in on your arch. Go ahead and bend that right knee. And let's take that knee in a big circle. Begin to open up the hips. Now see if you can really make sure here that you're not letting this happen through the shoulders, okay? We wanna stay nice and squared. The movement is coming from that right leg. So we're trying to isolate that right hip. Switch directions of that circle. Beautiful. Come and bring that leg forward, coming into a nice lunge here. So inhaling here, square off the hips. We're not just hanging out and dumping, okay? Dumping through the joints. So what we're gonna do here is a little flow to really activate the back of the legs. We're gonna inhale, exhale, see if you can, with your hands just lightly on the floor. We're not really hanging out. Using your strength, can you straighten back to a pyramid without just jamming and locking into that knee. So to do this, I want you to press through the front of the foot here on that right foot. Really ground down through the toes and the ball of the foot. Inhale, drop it to the lunge. Exhale, send it back. So squeezing this booty, this leg should be really active here. Inhale, drop. Exhale. Now what we're gonna do here, now you can try with both hands. I want you to really see if you can just have a light, like you're really using the strength of your leg and your core. Maybe you're not gonna straighten that leg all the way. You're just gonna come back a little bit, see how far you can go, and hold it, active flexibility, or you can take one hand off and do this flow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Really active squeeze. Exhale. Inhale. Woo, that is a lot of strength and stabilization through the leg. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Control, okay? Move slow. Inhale. Ground down through that toe. Exhale. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, grab your little towel or cushion thing. With that same leg forward, drop that back knee down, and we come up into a lunge. So, you might notice when we're doing active mobility, you can't go quite as far into the stretch sometimes, but that's okay. That's really gonna show you where your true mobility and true active flexibility lies. So what we're gonna do here, the inhale, low lunge, and kind of sink forward a little bit, but keep those hips squared. Keep a tuck in the pelvis. Keep the booty active. And exhale. Straighten back. Flex that foot. See if you can do it with keeping a micro bend in the knee so we're not hanging out, dumping into the joints. We're going to come into a nice flat back here. Really lengthening through the spine. Squeezing that right booty. Inhale, coming forward. Lunge. Now again, we're not just dumping into this front hip here. Really want you to think about trying to create as much space in the low back as possible through tucking the pelvis here. We're not just hanging out and dumping into the back. Strong, okay? Exhale. See if you can keep your balance. If you need to put one hand down or one hand on the wall, it's fine. Lengthen, lengthen. Inhale forwards. Really working the back of that leg. Exhale back. Keep your balance. Lengthen, lengthen. How far down can you go without losing that micro bend or losing the activation of the leg? Inhale forwards. This is going to work a lot of your stabilization. Exhale back. Last time, inhale forwards. Exhale back. Ooh, okay, coming down here. You can use blocks on your hands here if you'd like. Now again, to kind of help loosen up any stickiness that might be in the sciatic nerve, we're going to start by circling that ankle here. You can relax a little bit more here. Just try to avoid locking and putting a bunch of pressure in the knee. And now, involve the hips. Take the hips in a circle. Kind of how you would in cat-cow, circling the head and the hips. And the ankle. We want to get a lot of movement in here, like we're really moving through all angles of this stretch. Get a little ooey gooey here without sinking into the joints. And just noticing as you're moving this, we're really trying to just like smooth out the fascia of the back leg and the hips here. Kind of loosen everything up. So you can see I'm getting very organic here. I find this to be more helpful than just sitting here and being like, all right, come on, flexibility. Like, let's loosen things up a little bit. See how changing the position of your head, hips, and ankle changes the stretch. Moving with the breath. And from here, we're just going to take a moment actually to hold the stretch static, but we're not passive, okay? I want you to be actively squaring off the hips, so drawing that front hip back, back hip forward, and I want you to make sure that you're also not rounding through the spine, okay? Let's see if we can find some length, even if that means you need to come up a little bit higher or even bend that knee a little bit. And now what we're going to do is little pulses, little squeezes of the hamstring, quad, and glute of this leg that we are stretching, okay? So we're going to squeeze and release. And squeeze, exhale, inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. So feel like you're pulling up on the kneecap, squeezing the hamstrings, squeezing the glutes, and then relax. What we're doing here is called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, or PNF. And that active contracting and then releasing of the muscle in a stretch can actually help a lot with that brain being like, oh, okay, we can still activate the muscle here, we've got control, and we're in a lengthened state. It's kind of mapping that new threshold of safety and trust and body awareness for your brain. Give me 3 more. Still actively squaring off the hips, squeeze. And last time. I always feel much looser after doing that. Let me know in the comments if you felt a little difference in that too. From here, coming forwards, we're gonna lift off that back knee and pivot into a side lunge here. So your choice of how deep you can go, but only go as deep as you can then come out of it, because we're gonna pivot into our high lunge, energy back through that leg, squaring off the hips, tucking the hips here, the pelvis, so we're not dumping into the low back. Now we're gonna pivot again to that side lunge. See how low you can go. Don't let that knee drop in. Use those external rotators and glutes to pull that knee out. Exhale. Coming up, high lunge. So you might just be doing here and here. That's totally fine. Again, mobility is meant to show you where is your range without using your hands or anything. Where and how deep do you actually have control in? Last time. And coming up. Beautiful, hands down. And let's step back to our downward facing dog here. Walking it out. Notice if you feel a difference from side to side. My right side definitely feels a little bit more limber. So from here, my friends, taking that right leg, we're gonna come forward. See if you can use your core to, as you're coming forward into a plank, step that foot to the outside of the right hand here. Now I want you to swoop that right hand underneath that leg, kind of getting it up onto your upper arm here, okay? From here, we're gonna do a little arm balance. So, lifting up. See if just from here you can lift up that leg off the floor and straighten it forwards. Now you can come into a little bent arm here. See my leg is forward. We're working towards our full-on dragonfly, which is this pose. Now if you have that, go for it. If not, just try the little balance here. Swooping that arm underneath. See if you can just whoop, whoop. Maybe come down, do a little push-up, holding that leg. And if you want to shift forward, trying that out, okay? Just playing around for a moment. Beautiful. From here, lifting up and back, three-legged dog, and taking a wild thing, letting that leg fall over, coming into our stretch here. Nice big bend through the spine. Breathing here. Now we're going to bring that right leg down and come onto our knees. So we're coming from here, where you just were a wild thing, to dropping down here, alrighty? All right, throwing a little spice for your life. So from here, we are going to go through another flow. So bringing that right hand back, we're gonna arch up in a little half camel here with that other leg straight. Exhale, lower down. Sweep the leg around, or the arms, reach that right arm towards the left leg. But you'll notice I'm staying in a hover. I'm not collapsing. Core strength. Woo. Reach, 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 twist. Inhale, reach back and up. Exhale, sweep and reach. Exhale, back. Squeeze the booty to lift up. Exhale, down and reach and sweep. Squeeze to lift and down. Last time, reach, 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 point that toe. I'm really lengthening. Exhale, press up. And coming down. We're going to bring both hands over. Swoop swirl onto your stomach. Inhale, keeping your shoulders away from the ears, elbows drawing in towards the ribs. Inhale, lift up, little cobra here. Only go as high as you can without collapsing here, okay? We do not want this. Shoulders roll back, and exhale. Back to downward facing dog, okay? So I wanna try that flow one more time of bringing, here's what we're going for, okay? Kind of what we just practiced. Inhale, lift, forwards, balance, drop back, and up, hello wall, and wild thing, and down, sweep, and lift, down, back, and cobra. Okay, so try that on your own. We're gonna move through the flow here. Full body mobility, balancing that strength and flexibility. Let's go. Try not to kick your wall like me. Three-legged dog. To the balance. Up and back. Wild thing. Lower down. Swoop and lift. Stretch down. Swirl. Inhale, cobra. Woo, alrighty, take a child's pose for a moment. Beautiful, coming up. Time to take that all now on the left side. Let's go. Down dog from the top. So we are going to start by lifting that left leg and keeping the shoulders square, not opening up and twisting. Bend that left knee. Begin to circle that knee, opening up the hip joint. Try not to lock into that right leg or roll in on your arch. Circle the other direction. Beautiful. Waking up that hip. And exhale, step forward. High lunge here, okay? Squaring off the hips. We're gonna move through that pyramid flow and hold. So really light on your hands here, okay? Clack those nails on the floor. And we're going to lightly press back, really pressing through the ball of that foot, squaring off. Squeeze with the quads to draw up on that kneecap so that you're not just, okay, we want to keep the weight in the front of our foot, not back in our heel. Inhale. Decide if you want to do one arm or both arms. Ooh. Inhale. Notice how I'm really moving slowly towards that straight. I'm not jamming back through the knee, okay? Strong, 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 strong core, strong glutes, strong leg. Ooh. It's hard, okay? Do not let your ego get in the way here, all right, my friends? You can even use a block. So you might find, wow, ooh, I do not have the strength to get straight. If you find yourself going and kind of getting to a point where like, and falling into that joint, please just stop and see if you can just hold here and build that strength, okay? Two more. Squeeze. Beautiful, dropping that back knee down. Coming up to our high lunge here. First thing, square off the hips, tuck the pelvis, create that space in the low back. And move through our flow. Inhale, forward. Exhale, slowly reach back, flexing through the foot, drawing that hip back, squaring off the hips, long spine. Inhale, forwards. Can you move smooth and controlled, not jerky? Nice and smooth. If you need to use the wall or the floor for a little bit of stability, go for it. definitely requires a lot of balance. Keep your glutes squeezed and your core active. And move with the breath. The breath will steady you. Oh yeah. Balance and hold. Square off the hips, lengthen through the spine. And hands down, beautiful. All right. Again, here trying to prioritize keeping the back nice and flat instead of rounding. You may need to get some blocks, come up a little higher. Let's begin with circling that ankle. Just noticing, even through doing that, how that changes the stretch around the outside of the leg and the back of the leg. And then let your hips get involved here in your head and your spine, like you were doing a cat-cow head and hip circle. Really get organic here. Moving with the breath, don't lock into that knee, be really mindful. Mindful also that you're not sinking into your wrists or locking through your elbows. Nice and gooey here. I don't know, I could just like do this all day. It feels so good to loosen up this whole area that can get really sticky sometimes. All right, beautiful. Let's take our static PNF here. So first things are we're squaring off the hips, lengthening through the spine. Nice, good alignment here. Not locking through any of our joints. We're just going to squeeze and activate, pulling up on the quads, hamstrings, and glutes. And inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze. Squeeze the booty. Inhale, relax. And squeeze. Release. Squeeze. Release. Again, it's not going to look like anything's really happening. That's okay. Squeeze and release. Last time, squeeze and release. Beautiful. All right, coming forward one last time here. And now what we're going to do is come up to our high lunge, okay, and transition through our side lunge. We do 4 of these, okay? So transitioning slowly, trying to stay mindful to not arch through the back and lose that neutral pelvis. Pivoting, control, work those inner thighs, work the booty and the core. Halfway there. 3. Oh yeah. And 1, hands down. Coming to our lunge here. We're gonna do this all on the other side, that little flow. So, you're gonna scurp that hand under that leg and start small. See if you can just kind of start by lifting that leg off. This does require quite a bit of core work to keep that leg forward and lifted. And then see if you can even just do a couple little push-ups with the leg here. And then if you feel ready to get that balance, go for it. So this is a little bit more about really being able to balance, creating that 90-degree angle through your arms without collapsing and losing it, and kind of resting your chest on that little plateau that you've got here through the arms. Okay, so just try this. Play around with it a little couple times here. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna go through that flow, okay? Other side, so come here. You're either here, here, or We're doing the balance. Coming back up, pushing through the arms, three-legged dog. Bend that knee, flipping over to wild thing. Breathing here, nice big stretch. Pressing into the floor to lift out of that shoulder. Drop that back foot to the floor, sliding down. Alrighty, so we're here now. You know what to do. Let's sweep, press, squeezing through the booty. Nice big stretch here. Exhale down, sweep, and reach. Okay, again, we're not collapsing. We're reach, lengthening, pointing through the toes. And circle, press, down, and reach. Circle, press, down, and reach. Last time, circle, press, down, and circle around, coming onto the belly. Inhale, cobra. Tuck the toes, engage the core, lift up and back. Downward dog. Alrighty, y'all, let's take that all from the top. Make it a flow. Make it smooth. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, forward balance. Your variation. Lifting up. And flip. And press. Squeeze the booty. Lower carefully. Slide. Circle. Press. Down. And reach. Swivel to your stomach. Up for cobra. Lift. Back. Let's flow once more. Inhale, left. Plank. Core in. Balance variation. Up and back to flip. And lower. Circle press. And swivel reach to the stomach. Inhale up. Exhale back. Child's pose. Take a deep breath here. Coming up. And now grabbing your little mat thing again. Grab your blocks. We're gonna move into some real splits drills, all right? Okay, so let's take a downward facing dog. We are just working our way and priming our body towards being able to really use our splits. Let's inhale, lift that right leg up. Exhale, coming forward, really draw it into the core. See how close you can get it. Woo. And then we're gonna take a pigeon here. All right, dropping that leg down. So we're not just gonna hang out here. Of course, now we're gonna make it active. So if you would like to have 2 blocks here for your hands, you can. That would be kind of most, like if this is your first time doing it. Otherwise, one option would be one hand on the floor or block, one hand off. You can also use a block if you're not quite all the way in pigeon and kind of put it under your hip to bring the floor closer to you, okay? If you want to do something more like this, this is where you're at. You kind of play around. What we're going to do is lengthen. We're going to inhale, coming to a hover above the floor, squeezing that booty and your core, and exhale, coming back up, okay? Making our pigeon active, balancing our strength and flexibility. So inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Or if you'd like, the most challenging is to bring the hands up into a 5th position to inhale. Ooh, really working that core, exhale, lift. If this bothers your knee at all, try flexing and winging that front foot. Inhale, exhale. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lower, lengthen, core in. Exhale, lift. Last time. Exhale. Beautiful. Take a moment here. We're going to do 3 more of those PNF squeezes. So coming on down like you would be in any, if you were just doing this passively. Now we're going to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads and the hamstring, to squeeze this whole leg. You don't necessarily need to squeeze the calves, but more the upper leg. And exhale, relax. And squeeze, activate. Exhale, relax. And squeeze. Exhale. One other way we will do some PNF here is to bend that back leg. See if you can reach for that foot. Now we're going to try and press that foot in, and you're going to activate that leg and try to resist, okay? So there's going to be a little bit of active resistance here. So you're going to squeeze, really squeeze the glute, press, press, press against the hand, squeeze for 3, 2, 1, and relax. Surrender to that hand. And exhale, squeeze, press, press, press for 3, 2, 1, and relax. Ha. Oh, look at that. And squeeze. And those might be very subtle, so just relax. Maybe you may notice a big difference that your leg was able to go a lot farther, but that is going to vary person to person. Now let's come on up. Coming back to our half splits here. Now we're going to take our blocks. This is really going to work our core here. This is great to do for your extensions. Now what we're going to do, again, we don't want to be rounding here. The challenge is that you're going to want to round, but you want to keep that neutral pelvis. You're not arching, but staying neutral and not letting this happen, okay? Because what we're going to be doing is lifting, doing a little micro lift. Lift. So you might need to even come up depending on where you're at with your core and hip flexor strength here. So we're just do 10 little pulses, okay? They don't need to go very high, but just really focusing on not letting this happen, okay? So let's go for 10, 9, 8, oh, really fighting that pelvis. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, beautiful. Now coming into a nice deep lunge here, working towards our splits. So this is where having this nice pad under your knee is going to be real nice. So what we're going to do is you're going to let that leg slide out like you would towards the splits. Maybe you're going to go all the way down to the splits depending on how you're feeling. But I want you to then be able to bend that knee. Ooh, and draw that leg back in, okay? So you might not want to totally relax here, okay, right? We want to stay active. Not sinking through any of the joints of the arms. We're going to straighten out and exhale. Squeeze to lift back in, okay? So you're dropping a little bit and coming back up, but if you are able to just really try and have the movement be isolated from that front leg, this is where you're going to need to slide on the floor. So I'm going to leave it up to you how deep you want to go here. If you want to go and you're able to bend, work the arms here a little bit too. Don't just collapse here. Squeeze those elbows in like you're doing a push-up. And then if you need to press back up to draw that leg in, and inhale. Or maybe you're just going to be here doing this, which is just as beneficial, okay? Please listen to your body and how deep your range is right now, okay? So I'm going to do the bend and press, get a little arm workout in here. We're going to do 6, 5, squeeze to lift. So you're really working that hamstring and quad. 4, 3, 2, Let's do it on this side. Drop into a splits here. Maybe you need the blocks again. No worries, wherever you're at, we're gonna do some of those squeezes, okay? So we're gonna squeeze both glutes, both legs, and relax. Squeeze, show your brain that you can activate your muscles here. Wow, mine are shaking, can you guys see that? And relax. Squeeze. Yes, and relax. Squeeze and relax. All right, we will take a moment here to just breathe. If you like to keep squeezing that front leg, if that's helping, can continue to do so. Beautiful, and then we're going to press back up. See if you can use your hands, tuck that back toe. Ooh, coming back up, slide. All right, we're just gonna do the other side so we're nice and balanced, and then we'll finish off with a little over splits. Okay, so down dog, inhale left leg, exhale coming forward, squeeze it into the core, and then take that pigeon, alrighty? So, wiggling down into your pigeon, and then we're gonna take our mobility. So please, if it hurts to have both hands off, like this takes a lot of strength, so there's really no shame at all in starting just with your hands lightly on the floor, okay? That's still really gonna work your muscles and staying active and not just collapsing over, okay? So please listen to your body. We don't want to be causing pain to our body. That's not going to tell the brain that it is safe. In fact, that is the brain saying, no, 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 no. It's sending those pain signals like, abort, this is not good. So if you need to bring your leg more in, okay? It's totally fine, all right? Patience is gonna get you where you wanna go faster than force. All right, move with the breath here. Inhale to lower, really lengthen. Exhale, squeeze to lift. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Keeping the tension out of the shoulders. Let's do 3 more. Lengthen, lengthen. Not arching through the ribs. Keep them in, core active. Pull the belly button in as you lift. And last time. Beautiful. All right, taking a moment here, coming down onto your forearms. If that's comfortable, feel free to stay on your hands. Now we're just going to squeeze the booty and the leg here, and then relax. Just doing little pulses. Squeeze. Just showing your brain that you can control the muscles even in a deep stretch, that you can still activate them, still put the mind to the muscle. You can even try seeing if you can let go. Find a little balance here. See where your stability's at. Squeeze, release. One last squeeze of the booty and relax. Just take a moment here. Connecting with the breath, sending some love to your body. And then pressing on up, let's bend that back leg for our mermaid here. And we are going to again start with that squeezing of the booty and the quads here, pressing against that hand. For 3, 2, 1, relax the muscles. And press. For 3, 2, 1, and relax the muscles, surrender to the hand, and fight the hand. For 3, 2, 1, exhale. Really make sure that you're not using your hand here to fight, like really even see if you can bring that hand off the floor and have that activation come fully from this leg. Last time, squeeze 3, 2, 1, and relax. Sitting up nice and tall. Taking a moment to stretch here and finding that place where you're getting good stretch sensation, but you're not in any pain. We want to be able to breathe. Stay calm and centered. Beautiful, release that leg. Let's come on up to our half splits. Grab your blocks. Coming here, we're going to do our little leg lifts again. So trying to stay nice and long through the spine. Just little micro lifts of that leg. Oh, using the core. This is a really good exercise too to work on your all your extensions, cron, butt, maws, all that good stuff. Trying to keep a nice flat back here. And let's lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, just an inch off the floor, 2, 1, beautiful. Moving into that lunge here. We're going to extend, same thing as we did on the other side, so dropping down. Feel free to bend your arms if you want a little deeper, and then using that as a push-up as you bring that foot back in. Trying to really keep your hips squared as possible. If they need to open up a little bit, that's fine, but if you find that you're like really moving your hips around, try and take it back a notch, okay? No cheating here. So, dropping down, slide that foot along the floor, pressing up. We're really working that hamstring to draw that leg in, almost like a bicep curl for your hamstrings, okay? Get that cushion under your back knee and drop it down. Exhale, lift. Oh yeah. Drop down, inhale. Exhale. If you are bending through the arms, make sure those elbows are staying in, not going out towards the side. Exhale. Oh yeah, really drag it, slow and steady. Inhale, drop. Exhale, lift. You can just be here without using the arms. Totally fine too. All right, let's do 4 more. Really feel like a lot of that work is coming from the legs and the arms. Now you are able to, from here, from this lengthened state, contract those muscles. Squeeze the booty. Last time. Oh yeah, nice job, y'all. All right, we're gonna come down into our splits now, sliding in. Use the blocks if you need. Now we're going to just squeeze that leg, little pulses of activation in those muscles here. So squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, relax, squeeze, release. Last time, so we're just trying to see if you can almost even like lift off a little bit, like squeeze the booty and relax. Squeeze and relax. Take a moment here to breathe. Beautiful. Tucking that back toe. We're going to use our arms and our core to see if we can lift off, keeping that leg straight all the way through up to our 3-legged dog. Beautiful, y'all. Alrighty. So, grab your bolster or your pillow if you would like to do a little bit of over splits. If you don't have your splits, don't worry about this. If you do have your splits, you have the option to take the bolster. We're going to start on the right side, go into a split, and what we want to focus on here, if you're not in over splits, just take a regular split. So we want to focus on having enough activation that the stretch isn't happening here at the knee joint. See how right now I'm kind of locking into my knee a little bit? What we want to do is try to have this little micro bend. See what happened here? I'm more active through the leg. And then I'm holding myself up through the core. I'm squeezing my back glute, and I'm really making sure that this isn't collapsing here. And when you do that, a little bit of micro bend, really pointing through the foot. You're going to be protecting your joint, shifting the stretch more to where it needs to be in the muscle rather than the joint. I'm actually going to use some blocks here to really try and square off my hips and keep that micro bend. You might notice when you do that, it's a lot more stretch in the hamstrings. So what I'm trying to do here is make it active through drawing that front hip back and my back hip forward, trying to square off, and then trying to have a little micro bend through the knee. And I'm actually pretty active here. I'm not just hanging out in the splits, okay? So wherever you're at, find the same thing. Stay lifted, activate your core to really lift through the spine, and squeeze the booty, find that micro bend. And we're just gonna hold here. You might feel like you're getting a good workout. You can use your blocks if you would like. I'm gonna breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now you can relax a little bit slowly. And then again, we're just gonna do 3 little pulses here, just to show the brain that like, hey, we've got control, we're not locking into the knee, we can relax a little bit here. So just squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax. Beautiful. So now, what I'm going to do here, we are going to do a little bit of a relaxed stretch. I'm going to take this little cushion here and slide it more under my knee so that I can relax and have a little bit of support so that my knee isn't going to be locked into. Especially if you're hypermobile, I would highly recommend this. Then we're just going to breathe here. You can come on down if you'd like. If you'd like to come up and see if you can balance without using your hands. That's also going to make it active. You can take a twist. Beautiful. All right, let's lift up and out of this. Woo, back to our down dog. Taking a little stretch here. Beautiful. Now we're going to take the other thing, or same thing on the other side. So if you would like to have a little bolster just for a little over splits, go for it. If not, no worries at all. So coming down, and immediately I can feel that the stretch wants to kind of go into my knee. So I'm going to have a little micro bend through that knee, just a little one, just enough that the weight is not just hanging out in your knee. And then I'm going to use the blocks a little bit to work on squaring off my hips. So I'm active here, drawing that front hip back, back hip forward, going from here to really here, okay? Squeezing my glutes, activating my core so I can stay nice and lifted through the spine. Active to lift out of that knee joint here. And we're going to squeeze for 5, 4, really active, 3, 2, 1, and now you can relax a little bit, just keeping that activation through the legs. See if you can lift out of the floor, really lift through the spine. See if you can balance while keeping that little bit of activation underneath the knee. If you'd like to play around with like doing that same hover that we did in Pigeon, and again, not locking into the knee, that's pretty challenging. But you can play with twisting. Just staying a little bit more active. Or coming down and doing a little squeeze and release of the booty. Now these don't need to be like grip squeezes, just like little pulses just to show like, yeah, We can find the muscle, we can activate if we need to. We can activate our strength. Keeping that micro bend, point through the toes. Breathing here. So you've noticed throughout, there's lots of different kinds of active stretching. Sometimes it's simply just a little bit more intention of not just collapsing and kind of just hanging out and letting it all dump into your joints. It's just being a little bit more active. And sometimes it's pulsing, it's squeezing, it's doing that squeeze and relief, that PNF, and sometimes it's doing like straight up, like movement. That feels a little bit more like a workout, perhaps, but you are working with your flexibility. And all of these together, combined, really just foster so much more body awareness and that true mobility, balancing your strength with your flexibility so that your range can be usable. All right, y'all, come out of that split here. We are going to take our final downward dog, just walking out through the leg. Shake the head no. Beautiful. Coming on down onto your back. Bring your legs up to the air and just give them a little shake out here. Shake out those muscles. You might be a little bit sore tomorrow through your hamstrings. And now let's drop that right leg to the floor. Left leg, we're going to just try and do 10 pulses with that. So we're not using our hands. Like, yeah, if you use your hand, you might be able to pull that leg a little closer. But bringing your hands behind your head, we're just going to try and use the core, keeping the spine nice and flat on the floor to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, pull it in, use your core. Nice, and now we can relax a little bit, take a little stretch here. I'm not gonna pull too hard. I'm really finding that place where it's like, all right, that's a good stretch, but I'm not like yanking anything. I'm gonna bend that knee, take it across the body for a little twist here. Exhale, center. Switching sides, left leg extends towards the floor. We're on the bolster. Right leg extends. I'm like, yes, try and pull it towards your face, and then can you let go and hold it there? Ooh, that's a good challenge. So we're gonna do 10 little pulses, and I don't want you to just be like bouncing and using the momentum here, okay? Really like squeeze. 10, 9, 8, this is very humbling. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, showing you where your functionality of your flexibility truly is. 3, 2, 1. Now we can reach that for that leg and do a little stretch. But even here, like really think about bringing some activeness through lengthening through the leg. Like really lengthening, not locking into the knee, energy going out through the foot. And bend that knee, take a twist here. Beautiful, back to the center. Bringing your feet together and letting your knees drop out to the side for a little butterfly here. If this doesn't feel comfortable on your hips, feel free to straighten the legs, but we're just going to take a moment here to rest and breathe and take a shavasana. Even though this was a very unique yoga practice, we still want to take that time for stillness at the end to let all that work integrate, to let the body process all of that movement information. so that it can become more ingrained, working with the neuroplasticity of your mind-body connection. So allow your eyes to close. I have one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly. You are welcome to join me here. This feels very nourishing, very loving towards myself and my body. Snuggling your shoulder blades underneath your heart, creating some space between the shoulders and the ears. Begin to visualize your body surrounded by a warm golden light, welcoming in a fast recovery of your muscles, a smooth adaptation of the brain, learning to trust your muscles, to trust your strength and control even more. Fostering a relationship of trust and deep awareness and listening and communicating with your body. All right, beautiful. Stretch your arms up overhead. Bring your knees in and let them fall side to side. Little windshield wiper. And then rocking back and up. Alrighty, y'all. Great job today. Hopefully you learned something new. Perhaps it was challenging, maybe a little bit humbling. Definitely when you start doing mobility work, you can realize, wow, I've been definitely not building strength in my range. So this is just so good to do. Keep working at it. Keep being patient with your body. If you really enjoy learning about how the body truly operates and learning a new way to move and to train and to stretch and to really gain a whole new perspective on what to really prioritize in your training as a dancer to injury-proof your body and be able to accelerate your mobility and your dance technique so that you can truly be the dancer that you want to be able to go deeper, have more power in your movement, be more expansive and more fluid in the way that you dance and move, then I would love to invite you into my mentorship program, Yoga for Dance Academy. Really, everything I teach in my YouTube channel is just like the tip of the iceberg of how deep we go in that program. We're learning anatomy and alignment and helping you really integrate a whole new way of moving that's going to support your unique body and your goals for whatever style of dance you are doing best, so that you can really overcome any plateaus that you might be on or any, just be able to push yourself without having all these pesky injuries come up as you are accelerating your training. I'm all about dancer empowerment and safety through knowledge and education. So in this 90-day program, you get a full comprehensive foot-to-face in-depth training on how to change the way you move, how to unwire old movement habits that maybe could create injury or be limiting you in your mobility or causing pain and tension, and at the same time integrating a holistic self-care lifestyle so that you can be in a really good headspace for competitions, auditions, performances, and just being overall more confident in who you are and being willing to take more risks and really put yourself out there more as a dancer. That's what this program is all about, helping you have the most fulfilling, successful, confident, and healthy career as a dancer. So if you want to learn more, if you want to join or get on the wait list, check out the link below so you can learn more. You can see testimonials. This program has been life-changing for so many dancers, so I would love to be able to share that with you. If you want to be an anatomy nerd and get a whole community of other like-minded dancers who are on that same mission and want to really be empowered with knowledge of self, I would love to share more with you and go deeper. Or find me on Instagram for more dancer wellness content. And if you have any questions or need any support, I'm always taking requests for new classes, so hit me up if you need anything. Thanks for practicing, y'all. See you soon. Much love. Mwah!